Hey guys, welcome back to Sad Dad. My name's Dave Apcari and I am a comedian out of Fresno, California. And this is a podcast where I sit down with my fellow funny friends, my fellow comedians, and we talk about dads. Hi, how are you? How's your week been? This is a special Sad Dad Sick Day edition. I'm not feeling too well myself, and I've got a special guest with me today who's also not feeling great. Say hi to the folks.
Hello.
Hi. You're home from school today?
Yes.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got a little sick yesterday?
Yes.
Yeah, that was rough. You threw up all over your bedroom?
It's embarrassing saying that in front of like 20,000 people.
Well, you grossly overestimate the size of my audience, but yes. That was rough. I'm glad you're feeling better today, though.
Yeah, okay.
It's been a while since I've had you on the show.
I think the last time I was on the show was this summer, I believe.
Yeah.
I listened to my most recent podcast on Spotify.
Nice.
Go check it out.
Smash that like button, huh? Yeah, that's funny. You watch a lot of like YouTube and stuff, don't you? You got any recommendations for YouTube channels? No. Well, what's that one you watch a lot?
No, stop.
What? It's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's just, what is it, FGTV? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're cool. They're funny.
Yes.
You play a lot of video games?
Yes.
You play a lot of video games?
Yes.
You were playing one in there just now. What was it?
Super Mario Odyssey on my Nintendo Switch.
Nice. You coached me through a game of Fortnite recently.
Yes.
That was fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I almost won.
Yeah, you got third place.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
One time I got second place. If I wasn't looking at my map, I would have killed the guy and I got victory royale. But I was looking at my map because I was seeing how close the storm was. Got shot.
And he got you, huh?
I was at half health when I was shooting him. I should have built something and started using my med kits, but
yeah,
he killed me.
Son of a gun. Well, you'll get him next time, kiddo.
Yep.
That's great. You got softballs in full swing. You're doing that. You just played a game. You guys did a fun game where you got to. It was the 10-year-old girls versus the moms.
Yes.
10U
versus moms.
Yeah, that's.
I scored the winning one run. I hit it. Then I got first, and then I stole second, third, and home.
Wow!
I slid right under catcher.
Yeah.
So
and who was pitching?
Mommy.
Yeah, mommy was pitching. That's funny. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, she texted me and told me. She said you were real excited about it. Mm-hmm. It's pretty satisfying.
Yes.
That's great. Did you rub it in her face? You were like. Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Girls rule and moms drool. Is that what you said?
No, I was just like, I'm sorry.
You said I'm sorry? Is that what you said?
No.
Oh.
I was like, I'm so happy.
Oh, you're so happy. Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, cool. Well, and then you got some other stuff coming up. You got what was it? Peach Blossom?
Yes.
Tell the people what Peach Blossom is, because that's not a real common thing.
Peach Blossom is where you could sign up. You practice a poem for about a month or so. And then in March or April, you'll go to Fresno State and then say your poem.
Yeah. I went to that.
Judges.
I went to that, was it last year? Yeah. It's kind of fun.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you doing any like cool dances to your poem?
Kinda, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm doing hand motions.
Hello. Hand motions. They can't see the hand motions you do. Well, cool. Well, I got a great guest today on the podcast. His name is Ryan Demarest. Hold your applause, please. He's a very funny comedian out of Southern California. He had two dads. He had a regular dad and a stepdad.
Like me.
Yeah, like you, exactly. And we talk about both of his dads in this episode. So. Yeah, so cool. Well, let's get to it. You can go back to thank you for taking a break from Super Mario to record this with me. Can you stick around for the outro, though?
Yes, I can.
All right, cool. Well, let's jump into it, guys. Here we go. Without further ado, Ryan Demarest. Yeah. Scoot that as close to you as you can. And also scoot this.
Yeah, let me scoot up a little bit.
Yeah. There you
It'll be good here.
Yeah. I think that's a good level.
Yeah.
Dude, when was the first time you came to Fresno? I feel like you've been up here. I know you've been up here for my shows. Oh yeah, we're just
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, like, cause like you came up that one time with Matt Cole. I remember that. But then we ran into each other at that Bobby Salazar show too.
Yeah. What's his name? Fucking Steven Smokey. He was the one that was running. Yeah, it's. I came up with him. I mean, I've been up a couple times. Yeah. But, and I used to do Barmageddon a lot too. So,
yeah.
I mean, because Evan. Evan Cassidy.
Oh, Evan Cassidy.
Because he's been my bridge coming up here
in the Central Valley.
Yeah, mostly. And so and I go up to Santa Rosa a lot. So I was just like, well, why not kind of hit the points on my way up?
Get some spots on. Going. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, because you're doing you did my spot last night, and then you got another gig. Yeah, tonight.
we got to drive 3.5 hours to. What is it, Roanhart Park or something?
Yeah, like that? I don't know. Yeah. Aaron was telling me about it. He was like, I was like, I have no idea.
Well, with my ex, I used to come up to Santa Rosa at this time of year, every year for like 5 years. We did it, and so after a while, I was just like, I finally made some connections with like stand up in that area, and they fucking love me out there. So it's like they've been giving me a lot of love.
Word. And you started in Orange County, huh?
I started. I mean, mostly Orange County, like San Bernardino, because like I'm from LA, but like it's like San Gabriel Valley, which is like people who are transplants like don't fucking get it. Like it's like it's still LA County, but it is like it's. I'm like, you know where East LA is? They go, yeah. I'm like, east of that.
Like, yeah.
I'm like East LA. You know.
Gotcha. So were you one of the Max Bloom kids? Was that your scene?
No. I went because because that's what I'm saying. Like I was so close to LA, so like I went everywhere. So I wasn't really like. I was going to San Bernardino. I was going to LA. I was going to Hollywood. I was going to Orange County. Like I just was like everywhere.
And I know you have some musical background. Did that help at all? Like just like knowing bookers or people.
Yeah, totally. And like so when I started doing it, like a lot of people who were like in the music scene would, like they totally came out to see me a lot.
Hell yeah.
I burned out all my friends.
Like, right
at the beginning.
That's like. I mean, I can't get any of my friends to come out. I mean, but it's also like I'm doing like 5 shows a week. It's like when, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, tell me when you got a good one, bro. I'm like, no, that's harsh.
Yeah, but totally. I don't really like people coming to see me at the bar shows anyway. Like,
yeah, right.
And I run shows in the area that I'm from too. So like, so like people come out to those all the time, and I'm just like, I'm just hosting. Like, you're not coming to see me, really.
Right. Yeah, exactly. 100%.
You know. So which makes it kind of like, you know, an arm pull when I'm trying to like actually sell tickets, because sometimes I'll do an Ice House show and I have to sell tickets for that, you know.
Sure.
And it's like a door deal, so I'm like, fuck, I gotta like really hustle for
this.
Yeah,
get these people out.
Yeah, because I started at the Ice House.
Oh, did you?
Pasadena, yeah. Because that's like my home club. That's
word.
I was going there I've been going there since I was like 16.
Yeah. It's legendary. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. Were you kind of like a comedy nerd?
Oh yeah. I mean, fucking everything. Like, I mean, I still quote movie. You know, I love, you know, old fucking Mel Brooks movies and stuff. And my mom was really into like Mel Brooks and like the Muppets and stuff. So like, I mean, I was early on, like I fucking loved comedy, and it was a real geek. And then you know, I started watching like Carlin and stuff like that. And because you know who Bruce Jingles is, right?
Yeah.
So we won't get into that, but strangely enough, he went to high school with my aunt.
Oh, funny.
So we went to see him when I was a kid a few times, and then I was like, "Fuck, you can actually do this," you know?
Yeah. So, this is a thing that can happen. Were you but before the comedy was music?
Yes.
Yeah. What's your background in music? I'm listening. I'm gonna turn off this heater. It's making a little more noise than I wanted it to.
I started doing. I started playing drums when I was like 18. Actually, I sang in a band in high school. I sang in like 2 bands in high school. Yeah, and I mean, they're terrible bands. Like, no one should have ever booked us.
Yeah.
But I always loved music, and I always loved you know, playing. So and like I come from like, you know, my whole family's like a bunch of musicians too. So like we've always come from that background. Like my brother plays guitar, my other brother plays bass, and so
Hell yeah, you got like a fucked up Partridge Family thing going
It's
on.
weird, yeah, and like, and we never started a band together. You know, I mean, we used to jam together all the time, but like, it was like if I wanted a band, I was like, I ain't gonna. Well, I ended up having my older brother play bass for us because it was like he was always around, and we ended up kicking our bass player out. I mean, when I had like my band, you know, when I was playing, because it was like right before I started doing comedy, I had this band. That I met this dude on Craigslist, and I was like, and I had just come out of this fucking terrible car. We can curse, right? I'm not like,
yeah, absolutely.
I got in this car accident and I broke my neck.
Yeah, you've got a bit about that.
Yeah. And so coming out of that, I was like, all right, I want to like do something creative, like for real, because I was like really withering away in this like dead end like full time job.
Yeah.
So I started a band, and then I played everywhere. I got to play the Whiskey. I got to play like the Viper Room. Like it was awesome.
Yeah.
So
that's fucking awesome. And I mean, kind of like, so you grew up in LA County. What's that like? You know, I mean, like, because you talk about growing up in like a rough neighborhood and all of that. And what's your childhood like?
Like, it's strange. Well, like, you know, I'm kind of like my family is. I mean, I'm like 5th or 6th generation or something like that. Like my family's been here forever, dude.
Sure.
And sorry, maybe we can. I'm like, I have an important call I need to get today. I'm making sure it's not.
Word, yeah.
But yeah, it's just it was. I mean, I was picked on a lot. Like, I mean, somebody stole my skateboard just by going, I'm gonna beat you up if you don't give it to me. You know, like it was like things like that would happen. Like we weren't. Like it's kind of like a suburban, like it's way different now because you know, not that it's any of your business, but ever since me and my ex broke up, I moved back. So, so like it's called El Monte, California, which is like it's like southeast of Pasadena. So
okay.
So there's certain areas that were pretty bad, and like I said, like, and I mean, our first house in that neighborhood was not like my grandparents had their place, but then my parents ended up having this other place that we kind of mostly grew up at, and it was, I mean, the street wasn't even paved, at first, and like, it was a pretty rough spot, and like, you know, there's a lot of junkies that would hang out the end of the street. It was like a dead end street, and right? But I mean, there were also a lot of kids, so like I'd hang out with a lot of kids out in the street and stuff, and. Yeah, like I said, like it was tough. There's a lot of little kids thinking they were like as tough as their brothers who had been in and out of jail. Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, there was that. And then at some point, I finally started like sticking up for myself. And what was funny was like my brother beat up this kid, broke his eye socket.
Jesus,
that's how hard he hit him.
The old orbital fracture,
weeks later, I beat up his brother.
Oh wow. Fucking Demarest kids are savages. And I mean, like, fighting aside, like, what kind of kid were you growing up?
I was real timid.
Were you?
Yeah, real timid, real shy.
Yeah, were you a good student?
No. I mean, to an extent. Like, I always excelled in, like, history and like, creative writing and stuff like that.
Sure,
like, so I thought at some point I was going to be a writer. Like, I was going to, like, write fucking for comic books and stuff like that. Because I was really into comic books and shit, too.
That's real. Yeah. I had that same aspiration when I was a kid.
Yeah. So there was a lot of that, but like, you know, math, dude, I can't. Like, and that's literally why I quit college. It's like, dude, I took a placement test, and they're like, you have to go back to pre-algebra. I was like, the fuck I do.
Yeah, this is fucking bullshit, man. I get that, dude. Like, because I was always terrible at math, and I think, you know what it is. I mean, I think I've said this before on the pod. You know what I think? The reason I think so many people are bad at math is because everybody had shitty math teachers. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like you never, and it's weird because I see it in my own kid right now. Like, she hates math, and we're in this like parent teacher conference, and I asked the teacher, I'm like, hey, she really doesn't like math. Do you have any like tips, you know, on how to like get her into math? And the teacher literally said, well, I'm not really into math. I think she's like me. She's probably going to be really into history and English. And I'm like, well, so fucking wonder she doesn't like math because you don't like math.
Yeah. Like, you're a terrible math teacher.
Yeah.
You're like, let's just get this over with.
I think there's so many, like, I think there's so many people. And like I said, I'm one of them. Like, I'm like, I see it in my kid, and I know the way the world is going. And I'm like, you got to be good at this shit. Like, you got to be good at math if you're going to be doing anything. So, yeah.
Yeah. I had some pretty cool teachers growing up too.
Did you?
So like, yeah, like I mean, public school in this area was mostly like Hispanic kids.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
It's kind of tough, like on a lot of people. But yeah, I remember like my 4th grade teacher was. I mean, he sang. So he was like Jack Black, dude. Like he would write songs and stuff. Like he was dope.
Yeah, he just
Mr.
like
Benson.
just like one dude that gives a shit in like a sea of nobody giving a shit. Like really, like as a kid, like those teachers really stand out, and it's. You look at it in hindsight. It's like,
I mean, to this day, dude, I still have like I have teachers come to my shows that were like my teachers. Yeah, and like they'll come out and it's like they're fucking super proud of and stuff, and I'm just like, well, maybe you should give me money because this is not working out.
Hilarious. It's funny to look back on those teachers and like as adults yourself now, because like. Like my favorite teachers I'm probably like their age now. Like, you know what I mean? And it's weird to think of them as like normal ass people, and just putting up with all of my fucking 9-year-old bullshit. Like, God bless you, Mr. Hudson. Jesus.
Yeah. We I just went to. I had a physical recently, and like the doctor that came was like some young girl, and I was like. Oh yeah, that makes sense. I'm like anybody who actually went to college would probably be a doctor by now.
Yeah.
I was like anybody who went to grad. She's like my age, and I was like,
right. Wait, like that's the amount of I am the age that is the amount of time to become a doctor. Like if I didn't fuck up, I could think about all the stuff we could be doing right now.
Instead, I spent 6 years in open mics. And
yeah, that's real, man. I get it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Because I have a lot of like really successful. I mean, like one gal I grew up with is like she's basically like on track to become like a politician. Like like she's interning for all of these like big name politicians in like Washington D.C. right now, and like that's like and she's got her political science degree. It's like like you're gonna be a I'm like
right,
cool. Like I have a fun podcast like.
Yeah, but you know what though? Like, I'm starting to realize like the things that we do, like people are extremely envious of that. Like we have the freedom to do it.
Yeah,
you know
right.
What I mean? Like, and the bravery.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about that just today. Like I don't know if I was telling you about it last night. Maybe I was telling Aaron. I don't remember. But I'm in this spot where I have to like change careers and like. Not comedy, but like the other half of my my life, and so like basically what happened was like because the other half of the time I work for the family business, and we just lost this like huge account, and my dad yesterday like sat me down, and he's like, but my dad basically fired me, but he was like, listen, all that stuff I pay you to do, I need you to do it for free now. I was like, all right. Yeah. And so, but then my buddies all work for this like weed delivery service. Yeah. And so it's looking like I'm going to get hired as a driver for this place. And I'm like, I do comedy and deliver weed. Like I'm living somebody's dream right now.
You are.
I just don't know whose. Like, I guess it's mine. Like,
that's so funny. Man, I know. Like, yeah, people, but the weird thing is like, since I started it like at the Ice House and like, when I'm there, like people from high school will come or they'll run into me or whatever. And it's just like, it kind of drives me crazy because they're just like, oh yeah, I'm glad to see you made it out. I'm like, no, dude, I still live around the corner.
Oh,
like,
funny, yeah, because you're out on the road and everything. They're like, oh, Ryan's gone. Yeah,
they're like,
quit?
You made it. Like,
yeah,
no,
you made it. That's
like,
even funnier.
Like,
yeah,
no, dude, I did like 2 commercials that never aired, and I have to
hilarious.
and I have to do Fresno gigs.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing too. Like those comics that just kind of like stay in there. It's like. Get out on the road. Like that makes you so much better.
Absolutely.
Like, just bombing your dick off in weird zip codes.
Yeah, and it's my favorite to see like people from like the who are just in their like open mic bubble. I'll book them on some of my rooms, and they eat it, and I'm just like
And there's a lot of people like I noticed there are a lot of LA comedians that don't realize how LA their material is,
absolutely.
And so like it'll kill there, but like but outside,
you got it. And like the thing is, like I said, I'm outside of LA, so it's like dude, like even because LA that people think of isn't LA. Like LA is, I mean, it's like East LA, Boyle Heights, like Glendale, like you know what I mean? Like, those are where all the real people live who actually have lived there forever.
Right.
So like. So yeah,
it's
so
not
people,
North Hollywood.
It's not North or West Hollywood. Like, no, it is not. Like, and it's like that's not LA. You know, like some people are like, "Oh, I'm from." I'm like, no, you're not, dude. You're from fucking Wisconsin, and you just think you're woke now.
Yeah, nobody was born here. I don't even think there's a hospital here. So like you're growing up, and then you graduate, and then like what? You don't? Do you end up going to college? What do you end up doing?
For a minute. I took like a year off. I was like, fuck school. You know, I almost didn't graduate. They ended up doing this like it was not a placement test. It was like state standards testing that they ended up doing. And it was like every semester you had to do like 3 of them. And if you failed 2, you automatically failed the class.
Oh, jeez.
And like, I had like a C+ in this class. I was like, I'm coasting. I'm good, right? And then I ended up failing the second test, the state standard test. And then I found out the whole class cheated. And I just wasn't in the loop.
Oh no!
So like, dude, it was like me and this like idiot savant guy. You know, like it was like, oh my god, dude. And I could not. And I was just like, I'm over it. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm done. And my mom's like, I bought that cap again. You're fucking doing it. You know, she's like, you better retake that goddamn test. Okay. And I was like, all right. So I ended up cheating.
Oh, nice, good man.
Dude. I was in such a bind, you know, tight squeeze. My buddy was like, let me see the test, and then he looked at it and he's like, dude, I have a copy of the test corrected. Same test.
Just memorized it.
I just memorized it.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
I was like, I couldn't memorize the facts and like, but I could memorize the answers.
Oh, 100%, dude. Yeah, that's all you got to do. That's hilarious.
I failed it like 5 times. Like my teacher let me retake it that many times, and I was just like, I'm just this dumb, I guess. Like, and I really tried. It just was not working.
And I mean, when you were doing the music thing, like, how seriously were you pursuing that?
It was pretty serious. I mean. Like I said, that didn't happen until because, funny enough, I didn't start playing the drums until after high school. So like, because I couldn't afford them, you know, and you know, I grew up kind of poor. So like my parents, my mom was stoked on it though, like the fact that we started playing and stuff. Like my mom fucking cool as shit. You know, she's young. She grew up in the 80s. Like she was like in the scene when you know Guns N' Roses and like Motley Crue were like at the peak, coming at their peak, you know. So she's like super into, you know, she loves that we play and all that stuff. But so like Rock Band came out in 2006. And I was still in high school, and like I used to go to parties and just like jam out on the drums. And then eventually like Guitar Hero Metallica came out, and I was blasted on that. You know, like it got to a point where it was like you had the double bass, and you were like, and it was like, dude, I'm playing these songs for real.
May as well.
So I just and then like it just worked out that like a friend of ours like had a piece of shit drum set, and he put in our garage. And so I just went and beat the hell out of him for months and months and months. I got pretty good at it, and then I slowly pieced together my own drum set. And I bought it one piece at a time.
Yeah, that's
like
how you
the Johnny Cash song.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
and then then this car wreck happens.
Yeah, and then the car wreck happens, and then it was like it was more of a. And because like I said, I grew up doing drama and stuff too. So like I was always into performing and whatnot. Like always, like, I did like my middle school talent show. Like people still talk about it because we did sketches like in this.
Fun.
It's like and it was just me and a couple of my friends, and I mean we would make videos, and it was like that's why my teachers like that actually come like they're just like we knew this was gonna happen. Like you were always like this. So, right. So like, but like I said, after high school, I ended up getting this like I just like my stepdad was pretty harsh on me for like work. Like that's cool, you want to be an actor, but like you'll never have a family, you know.
Yeah, sure. I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah, he's not.
It makes life hard.
Like, he's not, but like, you know, which is I definitely appreciate, you know, now, right? But it was like, why are you crushing my dreams, Dad?
Yeah.
You know,
but it's also like a weird generational thing too, where like he probably grew up in a time. I mean, he did, where it's like that's the end goal, like get a job, have a family.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You made it. You know, like the idea of you not having a family is like failure to him.
Yeah.
You know, whereas I think society, that paradigm is like shifted. It's like, no, you can have a family, but that's not necessarily the end goal.
Right.
You know?
So he got me a job at like because he's a sales rep for like an office supplies company. So he got me a job at this like engineering office, and I worked in the mailroom.
Oh, okay.
And then through that, I ended up getting another job at this firm. I was working like 3 jobs at some point. Like I was working a lot.
Just that LA hustle, huh?
Yeah, and then I ended up finally getting full time at this one job, and I stayed there for like 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. And then that's when the car wreck like in my 4th year. So I was like, I mean, I started doing all this shit when I was like 17, 18. So I mean, so by the time I was 22, I got in that car wreck, and then it was a real eye opener. I was just like, I'm wasting time doing something I fucking hate, you know. So yes, I just like eventually ended up just quitting that job and was like, I'm gonna. Well, I was playing a lot at that time. I started that band when I was still working there, so it did help out at least with that.
Yeah, some kind of creative outlet.
Yeah. And then like it was like when the car accident happened, it was just like I haven't been writing. I haven't I always wanted to be an actor. And you know, being in the band was fantastic, but it was like I've been doing it for, you know, it was like I've been doing it for 3 years, and I'm like, we've only made like fucking $25.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, and then I started doing stand up, and I was like, oh my god, like within just a couple weeks of doing it, I'm like, I got $20 and 2 free beers. I'm like, this is the greatest thing.
Things are coming up right. Yeah,
I was like, this is fantastic.
Oh fuck, what was that first mic like for you? The first time going up?
Strangely enough, I did pretty well on my first mic. My second mic, I ate shit.
Oh yeah, that's how it was for me too. I was like, I remember thinking like, after doing like okay on my first set, and I'm like, oh, I'm like one of those comedians that just doesn't bump. Like that's crazy. I don't know how I got so lucky. Then I go up and eat shit on my second one. I'm like, oh, now I know what that.
But the
feels
thing
like.
Was like, because I'd already had that stage training in high school and stuff like that. Like I kind of had a leg up, you know. Like I knew how to public speak. I knew I knew how to work the stage. I knew that like different mannerisms, like, you know, if you want to own the stage, you have to have like posture, you gotta like, you know what I mean,
move the mic stand,
stuff like that. So and to make sure I didn't look like an asshole, I went 4 times to watch before I actually signed up.
Good move, man. You can always see those guys like circling the drain, like you know, like they'll come, it's like, oh, you're here again, 4th time this week. Like, you thinking about going up, buddy? Like, you know, it's like, get out there, you know, you can do it. So it's a good move, though. You know.
And then it really helped. It's a terrible thing to say, but it really helped by going to see all the people like bomb. 100%. And I'm like, I'm definitely better than that guy.
Dude, that is literally the advice I give to anybody and everybody, and the people on this podcast have heard me say it a million times. Like, if you ever thought about doing stand up, just watch an open mic, and you'll be like, I'm funnier than that motherfucker. Like,
sure. There's no motivation like spite. For sure.
Oh, absolutely. It's like, that asshole can do it. Like, I can do this. Yeah,
I know.
That's hilarious. Yeah, there's a guy in our scene, Isaiah Washington. He's killing it right now. But
I've heard the name.
Yeah. He's been coming out. I mean, I remember before he got in, he was coming out. He was watching the shows, and he had asked me, like, he's like, hey man, do you need like any help with like making flyers and stuff for your shows? And I was like, yeah, I mean, sure. Like if you know, and then he
wait, was he there last night?
Yeah.
He's the guy with the ponytail, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. I'm like, wait, I hung out with him last time. He was hanging out at our hotel room last time I was out here.
Hilarious. Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he is. And really like in the last, I mean, he's always been pretty good, but he hit one of those like level up in comedy moments, you know, that seem to come really easy your first year of comedy, you know, but he's doing really, really well right now. And but yeah, same deal where he was just like
hanging around.
I was like, just do it, man. just get up there and do it.
Yeah, totally.
That's all it takes.
Yeah, totally. But
and then it's hooks in you. You were hooked, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean the instant gratification. You know, when you do well, when something hits, you're like, I made that. You know, I made that happen. It's
it's creatively speaking, especially if you thought about being a writer. Like, I mean, the creative turnaround time on stand up is second to none. Like, you know, the idea that you could have an idea for a joke or a premise, literally driving to an open mic, and then an hour later you're trying it on stage, and like you have that immediacy of that feedback to your own creativity.
Right.
I don't know if any other. I mean, I guess maybe like in poetry. I don't know, like poetry, maybe. I don't know. I don't know nothing about poetry.
Well, I mean, even like being in and that's like also what I was getting to is like even being in the band. Mm-hmm. That's what got me so good with like hustling, you know, like getting people to come out to shows.
Oh,
and
word.
Like, you know what I mean, and just and making connections and networking and whatnot. Like
Yeah.
that old school just like DIY punk thing. You know?
Yeah. Well, that guy on that. Do you know Eric Friedman?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's his whole story. It's like,
oh yeah, how he's like a manager for like Sublime.
Yeah. But he was like, he made all those weird connections touring with Sublime.
Yeah.
And then when he decided to get into comedy, he knew club owners all over the country. And I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. Yeah. So, yeah.
But I forgot what the point I was trying to make was.
We were talking about promoting, hustling. Were you doing that? Were you doing like the hashtag like grinding thing with?
All the time. You know what I mean? And then
3 mics a night.
Yeah, for sure. And then after a while, I'm just like, I don't really need to do this much because I'm like, what am I getting out of driving to Silver Lake to do a mic in front of a bunch of people who don't really care?
Yeah, it's definitely diminishing returns pretty quickly.
So like. Once I started running my own rooms, I'm just like, I don't even have to go to mics.
Yeah.
I'll work out material.
Our entire comedy scene is based on me trying to get stage time. I'm like, I need stage time, and it's just start a show.
Exactly.
Man. And now it's to the point where it happened to me last night. It happened to me last Wednesday night. We had so many comics. I didn't even go up at my own show. Like, there was no room for me.
Yeah, I've definitely done that.
But I've also been like, no, like, that's not why we're doing this. Like, it was like last night, I was like, I just cut in front of the open mic. I was like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
This is executive privilege right now.
For sure. This is my room.
It's like, I need to have stage time.
Do that. I mean, swing that dick around as much as you can.
Yeah, I try to be nice about it, but sometimes I have to be. I have to do that.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, you're Ryan Demarest. This is a podcast called Sad Dad, where we talk about our dads.
Sure.
You got a couple of those.
Going on a third, yeah.
Way to go, man.
My mom just got engaged again, so which is it's nice. I like the guy. But it's weird. Like as an adult, they like my biological dad is different from my older brother's biological dad.
Okay, yeah.
His dad was kind of around mostly when we were growing up. So he was spoiled by his dad.
Oh, yeah.
My dad was a tweaker, fucking thief, like in and out of jail, and like empty promises.
Oh, that's rough, man.
But then my mom married my stepdad, and it was a game changer, But he was also
right because this is a neutral dad.
Yeah. And I started calling him dad once they got married, because he was around all the time my entire life, he's the one who's I still talk to him. I just called him like on the even though my parents they're divorced, I took their divorce probably the hardest because he was like my, you know what I mean? Once and I was like 22, I'm like, what's gonna happen to me?
As like an adult,
He's like, you have your own place.
You're a grown up.
Yeah. What are you talking about? And then, he was very sweet about it. He's like, I'm not dying. I'm still your dad. I was like, oh my god.
Really
I'm like, that's what I wanted to hear.
Did he bring any kids of his own to the marriage?
Yeah. So I have two younger siblings. My brother and the youngest my sister. And they're his kids.
I got you.
Yeah. So, but the three of us, that's our dad. My older brother always had his dad, so they always kind of clashed when we were growing up.
Sure.
So I think, and he ended up living with his dad at some point, but when he got older. Yeah, a lot of rough shit growing up. There's this weird sometimes I'll just have flashbacks of just how shitty his dad was to me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? We were brothers growing up, but he's like, I ain't taking him. He'd want me to go with him to the racetrack or something like that. Because we grew up by the Santa Anita racetrack. So and people would go and my brother would be all excited and want to bring me, and his dad would just be like, no, I'm not paying for him to come,
Jeez, wow, that's savage. Yeah. I mean, I could see why you would latch onto your stepdad like that, though.
Oh yeah,
because it's like for the first time in your life, you got somebody on your side,
right.
So that makes sense. What do you know about your biological dad?
I know a lot. I mean, I've seen him around and back. I mean, he. Strangely enough, he showed up and gave me some money from the house that they had to sell. It helped, but it's he never paid child support, never bought me anything. You know what I mean? So it was I think the only reason he did it was because my cousin on that side was kind of hey, you know he's in a bad place, and you'd be really selfish not to do anything for him.
Be a fucking dad. Yeah.
Like, give him some of this, like, you know, he's not getting any inheritance because you guys fucking bled my grandpa dry. Like, you know, you should give him something.
Right. Do you know much about what his childhood was like growing up? Like, where he grew up?
Spoiled. What my mom says, like, my grandpa was really spoiled, their whole family. So, like, I mean, sadly enough, like, they're all just addicts. Like, you know, because of that, you know, they never had any discipline. They just did whatever the hell they wanted. And you know, they became victims of their own like environment, because I guess my grandpa's brother was like really into partying and stuff, and he got all of them into shit.
I mean, were they growing up in kind of the same area you grew up in? Yeah.
Strangely, this is a true story. I talk about it on stage, but yeah, my stepdad's family, and so they're the Rodarties, right?
Okay.
And the Demarest household is right next door.
Oh wow!
And that's how my mom ended up meeting my stepdad, was because based on circumstance, like my uncle Dave, who God rest his soul, he just passed away. Sweetheart of a guy, but a terrible drunk. I mean, like sad alcoholic. Like, I'm fun drunk. Like it was like, it got to a point where it was like, okay, maybe this isn't funny anymore.
Yeah. He got the shakes. Yeah, that's rough. Yeah.
So he just passed away from his disease, which is really sad. But his best friend was my stepdad. Oh wow! And that's how my mom ended up, because they grew up together. They were kids, and so like they were all kind of in the same circle. And I guess my stepdad always had a thing for my mom. And once he saw how much my dad was a piece of shit, he kind of swooped in and was like, "I'll be your savior."
Wow, what a good dude.
Yeah.
What was the? I mean, you were saying that your grandfather was kind of like well off. Was there like a family business? Or
you can trip on this, man. He was one of the innovators of the NHRA, like National Hot Rod Association.
Oh, the race.
He was like one of the pioneers of like drag racing in Pomona.
Oh wow! So I see the connection with the racetrack now. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So he's like a gearhead, and
I don't know exactly what he did, but I know he's like some sort of mechanic or whatever. But he had money. Yeah.
Oh sure. Yeah. I mean, do you know if your like dad had expressed any interest in doing that? I mean, was he?
I mean, yeah, they all did, but like, none of them were any. There was no motivation to do any of that stuff.
Sure.
I'm sure. They were all very crafty people, like, and he was good at building stuff. And I mean, I remember like we'd work on like RC cars together, and stuff like that, but because I did hang out with him a lot when I was a kid, but then it was like less and less and less, and then I started, and my mom never talked shit about him. Like, she just would let me, like, go ahead, call him. Like, where is he? Fucking, like, you know what I mean? She's like, yeah, call him. Like, find out where he is.
Yeah.
And then, so I'd call the house, and I'd be like fucking 7, 8, like wanting to hang out with my dad, and they're like, oh, he's in jail again. It's like,
like, damn it. Do you know how your folks met? Mom and dad?
I'm not sure exactly how, but like I said, they were in like the 80s
just around
metal scene, so
in
like
the scene,
in the scene, backyard parties, San Gabriel Valley, so that's they're my mom was like jumping around from high school to high school, so that's why she ended up having like different groups of friends and different. So
did she have you pretty young, or 20? Yeah.
But she already had my brother at 16.
Oh wow.
So
yeah. God bless her. It's being a young mom.
Dude, I'm 29 right now. She was married with 4 kids at my age.
Yeah, that's wild. Right? Wild to think. Like, I'm like coming up. My parents had me pretty like late in life, but like by the time like my dad was my age, like he owned a business, he owned a couple pieces of property. I'm like, what am I doing? Yeah. That's wild.
I know.
But was there? I mean, you had mentioned that you were. I mean, there was at least at some point like you and your dad were kind of
close. Because he's a great dude, like person. He's charming as hell, like, and fun to hang out with.
Sure.
Just a fucking terrible dad.
Yeah. Was there like, do you know, like, was there like a specific point for him, like as a person, where the wheels started to fall off, or was he always kind of a?
He was always kind of like that.
Yeah.
I mean, even my mom was saying, like, even when I was a baby, he would just kind of dip and just wouldn't come around for like 2 days, and she'd just be like, "Where the hell have you been?" You know? Again, I don't know exactly what the reasons for it. I'm assuming just drugs and party,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was.
And was there ever a point where he like kind of like had a hard time? Was there ever a point where he was like, "Hey man,
every fucking time, time he got out of jail."
Oh yeah.
But then it was like you're just back to doing the same old things again. Sure. I mean, we tried to bury the hatchet when I was like 21, and then he bailed on me one night, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Yeah. Like,
it's a tough
I'm
lesson.
just like, dude, like, I'm 21. Like, I'm not 10. Like,
yeah.
It's like you're either in my life or you're not, man. Like, make a decision, bro.
Right.
Like,
do you feel like? I mean, I don't know. I could see that experience going one of two ways. Like, you're either very good. Maybe it's both. But I find having like people like that in your life really helps you identify red flags. Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
and like other people.
Yeah, I'm really I read people real easily.
Yeah.
And like, I'll within like 2 minutes of sitting next to somebody, I'll just be like, I like you or I don't. You know? And it's like, and I'm all friended up, bro. I don't need any new friends.
Dude, that's it's so weird. That's like such a shitty mentality, but it's so true. Like,
I'm all friended up.
I don't need
to be nice to you if I don't like you.
Right. It's like we can like. I feel like there's a lot of comedians I feel that way about. Like, where it's like, hey, like, we can work in the professional sense, but I do not want you, beyond that.
Don't come to my house.
I'll be respectful. I'll be professional. But do you feel like, has it like affected you in relationships? Like, do you have any like trust issues or anything like that?
I got abandonment issues like a motherfucker.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And it's like, I have a problem with sometimes just kind of, I'll have like, especially with girls and stuff, like, when I'm single, like I'll have just girls around sometimes, like just to throw a Band-Aid on things.
Sure,
just because like, just to feel okay.
Yeah.
But like this, this time around with this breakup that I've been going through, I really did stew in it. Like kind of just like, I have to be okay with being with myself.
Oh, that's the heavy shit.
Yeah. Which is strange because now I just met this new girl and it's like it's a game changer and I'm just like, oh man, I'm like, I didn't want this to happen so soon, but it's like, fuck, I can't help it.
Yeah. It's tough, man. I remember after my last breakup, I didn't know how to. We had been together for 4. I've always been like a long-term relationship guy.
Yeah, me too.
And like this last one, we were together for 4 years, and I'm like, I don't know, like in the time that we were together, like, I went from, I think I met her when I was 26 and then we broke up when I was like in my 30s. And it's like, being single in your 30s is kind of a different animal, like, and it took me a really long time. I mean, I thought I was okay. And then I was like, I'm ready to get back out there. I'm doing okay. And I was like, oh no, I'm not okay. Like, like it took me like a solid 1.5, 2 years to like be like, oh no, we're legitimately, I had a bunch of false starts. Yeah. But I think I'm okay now, and so, I mean, that's, it's tough.
But it's weird though, cause I've just, all these terrible things that he did to me or whatever, like it's just a lot of emotional distress and stuff. So so like I've kind of just turned it into something positive as much as I can, like I'm an awesome friend. As much as I can, like I got friends, like if I always try and stay in touch just because I'm just like, if people move to different states, even I'll check in. I'll give my friends a call that live in Vegas now, and I'm just like, it's just because I don't want them to think like I'm being that shitty. You know what I mean? Or like it's a weird fucking thing that I have. Like I want to stay in touch because I don't want to be like that.
Yeah,
I don't like being that person. No,
I absolutely get where you're coming from on that, and it's already so hard to like maintain relationships as an adult, because people drift apart, and it is. I mean, I've actually fallen off on it lately, but there was a while where I was really good about. If I found myself thinking about somebody,
I just call
them or like text them. I was like, oh, maybe there's a reason I'm thinking about this person. Maybe they need to hear from somebody. Yeah. And I'll be honest, I was really good about that for a long time, but I've fallen off the last few years.
You got
I got a lot going on.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I don't. So anytime somebody pops in my head, like I'll shoot them a text.
It's a good move, man. Yeah. I think that's solid.
Yeah.
Well, Let's talk about your stepdad, because he seems like a pretty fucking cool dude. Yeah. I mean, so you said he kind of grew up similar background to your own dad, your biological dad.
Yeah. I mean, same atmosphere, but I mean, but they're fucking polar opposites. Like, And unfortunately, you know, my mom and he divorced, but you know, they're cool now and whatnot. Like, it just kind of just didn't work. Once the kids grew up, they were just like, oh, maybe this isn't the best for us, you know.
How old were you when he became like a part of the family?
They got married when I was 7.
Oh,
I was the ring bearer in the wedding.
Oh, that's adorable. Yeah.
I was a fucking adorable.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah.
I peed my pants at their wedding.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then my dad was supposed to come bring me a pair of pants, and he never showed up.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Come on, Dad. Jesus. Well, I mean that's cool though. I mean, so yeah, and was it like one of those things where, I mean, did he had kids at the time?
Or? No.
Yeah.
So he took on 2 kids that weren't even his.
Yeah.
And then had 2 more with my mom.
Wow, good for him. Did he just take to being a dad? Like, was he just like he was
fucking
he was ready. Huh?
He is like if you put a dad in like a computer and printed out a dad like that.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, he fanny packs and cargo shorts and all, dude. Like, I mean, Tommy Bahama shirts on Sunday brunch. You know,
just
like,
a dad ass dad.
He's just he's dad, bro. Like,
what's his life like growing up? I mean, does he have?
He's the youngest of like 6 kids, I think. So,
Are they is his family like a little more like, I don't want to say blue collar because it sounds like your dad's family was pretty blue collar too. But
yeah,
I mean,
but my grandpa Felix, his dad, my stepdad's dad.
Yeah,
he was just hard worker, you know, family oriented, you know, worked, came home, slippers at the door, you know, make me dinner, and you know, smack the kids around a few times, and then retire. You know, that's so that's why, that's pretty much why he was like that too. And you know, I mean, schedules, bro. Like it was like Saturday morning was lawn day, no matter what. No matter how hungover I was, it was like, you have responsibilities. You did this. Get up. You still got to do the lawn. Fuck. Like,
oh wow.
Yeah.
And was that? I mean. And it was like that when you were 7. Like
no.
I mean, not that you were drinking. When you were 7,
but like
I mean, but he brought it seems like he brought a lot of structure.
Yeah. And which is what our household pretty much needed, you know.
Sure.
And you know, and my older brother was wild, like wild. So that's why they clashed a lot, you know, because he was just running amok. I mean, and with his dad, like, it was like his dad let him do whatever the fuck he wanted.
It was a lot of like, you're not my real dad.
Yeah, a lot of that, and I'm just like, don't like, please stay, don't let him don't let him break you. You know?
It's like, you got this, Dad. Like,
like, dude, like, I was like, we need him. Stop it. You know?
Don't fuck this up for me, man. Hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. And so, and what kind of work does your stepdad do, or is he doing?
Well, it's funny. I mean, again, like, just like that fucking blue collar, like you just said, he's been working for the same company. Like, he got this job as a delivery driver, and now he's the sales rep.
Oh wow, yeah.
And so, he just,
what's he delivering? I'm a bit of a delivery driver.
He not weed. However, he was selling weed a lot when we were kids too.
Nice.
So
they'll hustle.
Yeah, that was
make ends meet.
That was a side gig, I guess.
Hilarious. And like so for you growing up, I mean, we've talked a lot about like what your relationship was like with your biological dad, but your stepdad, I mean, what's the relationship like? Is he, you know, helping you with homework? Is he taking you to the little league?
All that coaching.
Oh, coaching.
Yeah, I mean, he was like my brother's t-ball coach. And,
fuck yeah.
I mean, he loved when we played sports. He hated when I did like theater and stuff. He'd just fall asleep and shit. He was just he was very into, you know, he played basketball his whole life and stuff like that. But dude, it's just funny, man. Like. And you know, the artsy stuff was like on my mom's side. Like, she loved going to my plays and anything like that. And like, my dad was just like boring. Like, can you play baseball again?
Yeah, hilarious. That's so funny. I mean, when your younger siblings came along, I mean, did that change the dynamic at all? Or, I mean,
not really.
Yeah,
not really. If anything, when I think back on it, he was a lot harder on me than them. I think because he kind of knew that, like, I was soft, and I needed that kind of like push to be, you know, who, I mean, dude, like, I'm like I said, I'm so fucking grateful for everything he did for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I was blessed for, you know, there people were worse off, you know, they don't have that kind of, like, yeah, my dad was shitty, but then like I had this other guy who was just like not even my real dad, and just kind of was just like, this is how life goes, you know. Like, But yeah, he was a lot harder on me growing up because my older brother was such a fuck up. Right. And he was like lost control. Just was like, I can't help him, but like I need to set an example for everybody else.
Sure.
And so it was like, yeah, so he was pretty hard on me and kind of let my let my younger siblings kind of fuck off a little bit more.
Sure.
But I mean, it made me a better person. Yeah. So
yeah. Instilled some work ethic in you and all that.
Oh yeah. Stuff. I mean, like no one's gonna do it for you. Like that's. I mean, I get it from him. Like yeah, he definitely ingrained that in me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's great. And I mean, and growing up, are you guys? I mean, does it start to shift to like? I mean, does it go from like chaos when you're a 7-year-old to like you've got this idealistic like type of
No, I mean, because then we ended up being teenagers, or I ended up being a teenager. That fucking changed everything.
Sure.
I was such a good kid. And then when I started becoming a teenager, I was a piece of shit. And it was like he punched me once, and I never fucking mouthed off to him again.
Oh yeah, well, hey, there you go, man.
Because I got to a point, like if I acted up and my mom would pull my hair, smack me or something like that, like I was usually like less than I got the message, right?
Yeah.
And then one time, I think every guy goes through this at some point. Is like you get to a point where you're like, I think I can fuck my dad up.
Yeah. I remember my friend Marco growing up. He pulled that with his dad. His dad beat the shit out of him. I was like, "What are you doing, dude?" Like, I thought I had him.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I like stood up and he just chin checked me.
Yeah.
Bop, and was like, "What else you got to say?" And I was like, "Nothing."
That's like your first glimpse into like real man strength. You know what I mean? Like this fucking old guy strength, and it's just laying dormant. You know what I mean? They don't show it off.
Right.
They don't. And then it's just fucking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're like, God damn.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, so I was just like, he's the law, fuck it. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Was he into the music thing at all?
Yeah, he liked it. I mean, he liked it, but like she was like very much of a homebody. Like I said, structure in the house. So I think that's why him and my mom clashed a lot. 'Cause she's the opposite. She's a wild card, So and so my mom would be psyched on like gigs and stuff, and like she's just like, oh my god, like she loved it. So. Was he more into the comedy? Was he? How do you feel about he does like that I do comedy now. He's way more into that. He'll come out to the shows for that. And
that's great.
But as long as they're not too late, if they're past 10 o'clock,
the guy's got a sales job to get to. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. He'll only come to the 8 o'clockers because even then that's too late. Like he can't.
I mean, it is ridiculous. What we do is ridiculous.
Yeah, for sure. I know, but it's so fun. Once I start, it was one of the first. I mean, for doing comedy is one of the first things that he actually said he was proud of me for like kind of pursuing.
Yeah. That's great. What's he doing these days?
He still sells same thing, man.
But now he's an eligible bachelor.
Oh yeah. He's a handsome dude too.
Getting himself back out there.
He's like all back in shape and shit
good
too.
For him.
Yeah, he looks good.
Does he?
Yeah,
okay.
He's a silver fox.
Is he crushing puss or is he?
Probably, dude. I probably.
So. I hope he is.
Probably.
I mean, if the alternative, if he can't be with your mom, which is obviously the ideal situation, I hope he's crushing puss.
Yeah. I think he is. He's like I said, he's a good-looking dude in his 50s.
In his 50s? Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. He's probably just women late 30s, early 40s. Oh, yeah. He's probably
Yeah, and he's like 6'4".
Oh goddamn.
Yeah.
And he's fuck yeah, dude. Yeah. I love him already. Yeah. He's, do you feel like he has that confidence though? Like the Yeah. He's got the swagger.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, he's just he'll probably meet somebody again that'll just be like, this is what it is.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's so schedule oriented. Like, dude, I only see him on Sundays because Sunday is Dad Day. Like that's
funny.
You know what I mean? It's like Grandpa's house Sunday dinner. Like that's what we do every and so and it's like it gets a little frustrating because sometimes I want to be like, hey, you want to grab a beer or like have some lunch or something? And he's like, well, why don't you come over Sunday? I'm like, because I want to hang out now and I want to go somewhere else. Like. But it's like, oh, I can't. I got things.
Did your? I mean, obviously they grew up together, but did your bio dad and your stepdad? I mean, did they like get along to the extent?
Yeah, they always got along.
Did they? That's cool.
And which was very confusing for me growing up too, because like I was like. I remember being with my biological dad one time and trying to explain to him like my other dad did this thing for me, and he was like, Dave. Like, I'm like, my other dad. He's like, Dave.
Yeah. Hilarious. That's so funny.
I'm like,
was there ever a point where like, this is my new dad? Like, did you ever like rub his nose in it? Yeah.
No, but he's, I mean, with my development, you know what I mean? With the situation, I'm sure he fucking got it. You know? And then at some point, you know, he just got so ashamed of not being around that he just kind of backed off, which I think made it even worse, you know? Like, it's like own up to what you fucking did, you know?
That's hard, man.
And it's just, you know, fuck, man, I remember getting in a fucking heated argument with with my ex, because I'm like, I can't believe she even touched on this, because I ended up going to a wedding, and they sat me with like my real immediate, you know, my biological immediate family. So like I was with my real dad, well, my biological dad. My real dad is my stepdad, right? And like my grandpa and my uncle and all, and you know, we got along that night. I was like 24, 25 or something, and it was like out of town, so like we had to get like a hotel room and stuff, and like we're there, and I'm with, you know, my ex, and she's chatting it up with my dad like all day, and I'm just sitting there like seething. Like,
yeah, right. Like, don't let this dude charm you.
Not even seething, just kind of like whatever, you know. Like that whole night, I was just like, we can hang out, we can talk, but like, don't even fucking tell people that, you know, you had anything to do with my life.
Yeah,
you know?
Let's make this clear.
And and even one of my cousins that was there, he goes, "Oh, that's my son," or something like that. And then he looked at him, he's like, "Maybe in another life."
Ooh, yeah.
And like, you know, whatever. I'm sure he was doing the best he could that day. You know what I mean? But it was like, this isn't going any further than this room. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, like my girlfriend at the time, she was just like, I don't see what the problem is. Like, he doesn't, like, why don't you just talk to him? Like, he seems like a nice and understanding guy. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm like, you just fell for it. You fell for the oldest trick in the book. I'm like, he's charming as hell.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, you're his sucker right now. And I'm like, and fuck you for even talking to me like that. You know,
right.
I'm talking about what you know what I mean? Like, I'm overreacting.
Yeah. Like, do you have any idea of the emotional trauma?
I'm like, the guy who would not pick me up from school and it just would be gone for a couple days.
Right.
And I'd be sitting in the office, like, after everyone's gone, and have to call my mom, like, Dad didn't show up. Like, fuck you.
Yeah. And you're sitting here like, I don't think he's that bad.
He's a bad guy. Yeah.
Oh, that you glean that he's a nice guy in the 30 minutes you've been talking to him? Fuck you. Yeah. A lifetime of bullshit from this man. That would infuriate me.
I was infuriated.
Because like she just didn't understand. Like she didn't. She couldn't even wrap her head around.
No, she just got that, like, you know, just that immediate response, and just the for face value, you know. Yeah. None of the deeper shit that like I had to go through, you know.
Right. It's impossible for a person to understand that hasn't gone through it. You know. Yeah. Oh, it's savage.
Yeah.
Well, right. Let's bring this thing in for a landing. I talked to you earlier. About a dad anecdote. I usually like to end it on like a favorite dad story that you might have. I don't know
well, I think about this a lot because like there's a few things that have been happening like recently. Like I've been really like unwrapping a lot of like childhood trauma and stuff.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, that's great.
Because like because I'm fine, like things are happening to me that like now that I'm turning 30 that like I didn't know was like, I'm like, oh, that's new. I'm claustrophobic now.
Oh, hilarious. Yeah. I saw you beeline for my Tums this morning.
Oh yeah, heartburn, fucking joints and shit. Yeah. I mean, like I don't heal as well anymore. I got a broken wrist here. Anyway, we were at me and my brothers. I mean, we got hurt all the time. I mean, trips to the hospital regularly. I mean, we were skateboarders and stuff. So, one time I busted open my lip, and and I had stitches on my hand right here. So anytime I had to get stitches, I was such a piece of shit at the hospitals when I was a kid. So they'd have to tie me down.
Jeez, yeah.
And like my dad would have to like just hold me down while they had to do their thing. And I was talking to him recently. I was like, I don't know what I've been I don't like that I can't move my elbows. Like I almost freaked out on a ride the other day at like Universal Studios because I was like strapped in, and I was like, I had a fucking panic attack. And he's like, oh yeah, probably because we had to strap you in a lot when you were a kid.
Oh, hilarious.
He's like, you never liked it then either. And I'm like, that solves that fucking.
Oh yeah. That's so funny, dude. Ryan, you've been great today. If people want more Ryan Demarest in their life, where should they go? Where should they find you?
My website's down right now, but it's teamryand.com, and then I do Humpcast. That's my podcast I've been doing since I started doing stand up. So it's me and my good buddy that I grew up with. And he's an actor. He doesn't do comedy, but we just sit and riff. The show is a show where a couple of buds get buzzed. So we drink beer and talk about movie news.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, we've been doing it. I mean, fuck, we're at like 302 episodes or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fun. We live stream it on Facebook. Add me on Facebook, at Ryan P. Demarest. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really tweet too much, but
Twitter's just basically my digital joke book.
Right, yeah. So yeah, all that, and I'm gonna be revamping my own podcast, which is called Hit the Mics.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
all right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, thank you so much, man.
Thanks for having me,
awesome.
dude. Thanks for letting me stay and everything. This has been fantastic. You're amazing.
Sorry it's so cold.
You're a true dad.
Oh yeah, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. And we're back. Ryan Demarest, everybody. Follow him on social media. Check out his podcast. He just released one a couple days ago, I saw on social media. So check that out. If you can rate and review Sad Dad on iTunes and yeah, it's on Spotify. You were listening to it on Spotify.
Yes.
We're also on YouTube, huh?
Yes, I'm happy about that.
Are you? You think that's pretty cool, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need to set up a camera situation so we can record this.
Yes.
I think I would sit over there so we can use this wall with all the pictures and stuff on it as a backdrop, I think that'd be cool. And so anyway, well, cool. Well, thank you again for being on, Abigail. And now you can go back to playing Super Mario.
Thank you for having me on the show today.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, that's it. You want to say the thing?
Adios.
Adios, you guys.